live. Oh, oh no, we didn't do our echo
Our
check.
test.
Wait,
Testing, haha. No.
Test.
Just
our laugh
We're
test.
testing live.
can
Am I still echoing?
No.
All right, I think we're good. Hello, people. We'll wait
is
for
there
people.
I can't see comments now. Oh well.
Oh wait,
I'll be the blind oracle today.
Uh,
do you not see a thing on the side that says comments or no?
Oh wait, I see it now.
Oh,
Okay, it
okay.
was just hi Furley.
Yay! Hi, Dark
Hello.
Knight. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I know we took a couple weeks off, but
Yeah.
we're back.
It was necessary.
It was very necessary.
Yeah.
Hi, Nari Bear. So while people trickle in, I will remind people of what
Hang
we're
on.
doing here, who we are.
I know, right? We're a little slow today.
I know
It's
we are
okay.
trying to like get back into the vibe. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. This is Paranormal Pinays, the weekly live stream that the three of us do here every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's just a loose, candid conversation about everything spiritual and paranormal. And throughout the chat, feel free to throw up any questions or comments, and we'll put it up on the screen and hopefully have an answer or response for you. So I'm Sapphire Sandalo. This is my YouTube channel. I tell ghost stories, and I'm also a musician, and I'm working on a horror musical right now. So
Yay!
I
Oh,
plan
so
on
exciting.
launching a crowdfunding campaign for that in February. So stay tuned.
We're so excited.
Thank you. And
And I'm Rannie AuGoGo. I am a spiritual healer. I'm an oracle. I listen to spirits, and I have a corgi. I'm a grandma. All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
He's multifaceted magical man. And Sapphire is the musician, multifaceted storyteller. I can't believe I'm next to these two beautiful beings. And I'm Lyn Pacificar. I'm a shaman, a mom. I have a German Shepherd Pit Bull mix dog who's 10 years old and a green parakeet. And yeah, I do a lot of spirit work and tend to community in ritual. So it's an honor.
I love it. Oh, also, I have dogs. Since we're all talking about our dogs, I have a red healer named Norman and a Chihuahua named Lola. They're just outside this door trying to get in. So hopefully we don't hear them throughout. Anyways, so we thought it would be a good idea to talk about spiritual protection today, ways that you can protect your energy from any harmful entities or even people.
Mhm. Just it's not just entities. It's right now the energy is heavy. And a lot of people, even if they weren't affected by the election and what's going on, they're feeling the weight of the collective. And it's like it's good to be aware of like what's going on and to know what's going on, but also taking on everyone else's emotions and feelings collectively at this time can make it really hard for you to navigate life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can feel the weight of that too. I mean, I feel the weight of it, but at the same time, I've been encouraged by it, if that makes sense.
It's motivating you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the fire needed under your ass to get moving about your things, about your goals, and and everybody, but at the same time respecting that we have a time to mourn, we have a time to be angry, and we also have the right to feel those feelings and move accordingly and to flow with and I love the fire energy. I love my Aries people, my fire sign people. They just, it helps encourage the water to flow and get boiling and get steaming. We go from one form to another. And this is how we sublimate into our ascendancy, into our spiritual practices, or however we're supposed to show up in this world.
I love it. So
Yeah.
before we went live, Randy, you were talking about the importance of creating during times like this. You want to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, just lately, actually before all the craziness started happening, I was already being called to create more. And creation at this time, the act of creation is so important because it's the opposite of like all of the destruction that we're seeing right now. So if we start putting our actions towards creating what we love, creating what aligns to us, then we are actually like creating the frequency of what we wish to bring forward in this existence.
Hmm. Have you been so what have you been creating?
I've been making a lot of incense, actually, like a lot of
Mm.
incense. I got inspired because I ordered some of the kamangyan and the Manila copal from Lyn's shop or
Mm.
herbalaria. And also I got the tobacco from you too. So I was like, that was the start of like, oh, I want to start making more incense. And then now it's just like I've been making tons of incense because I want to start teaching people how to make it. So I've been filming videos at the same time, but I'm like, oh, I just forgot how much I love the rep, like as a spiritual practitioner, as a priestess, when we do these like creative acts like making incense or something like that, there's a lot of repetition, grinding the herbs, connecting to the herbs. That actually helps to bring me into flow state as well, like
Hmm.
altered states. So I've been communing with spirit as I have been creating. So a lot of incense, been making more candles. Yeah, just making, like obsessed till like 1 in the morning. Usually I'm in bed at like 8, but now I'm like, I'm just up because
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing some stuff like doing shit as opposed to like laying in bed like I can't sleep.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
Mhm.
just gonna get up and make stuff.
I
That's
love
so
it.
positive. I love that you make incense and candles. I enjoy lighting my candles, number one, that are made by Ranny, and also Sapphire's candles. I still have a little bit left, sis. So if you ever want,
Oh, wow. So
I
long
mean, I
ago.
got one on the bear tin, and when you were doing the screening of that one
Oh,
show,
wow. Yeah. That was
I
a
got
baby
two or
one.
three of those. I know. But anyway, like I have been creating like a madwoman in terms of my art, my drawings, my paintings, my jewelry. I've been finding the need to do the amulets a lot more, a lot of amuletic pieces, studying, going deep into my studies of Mesopotamian culture. And I've mentioned this before, with all the darkness in the world, we should go to the very beginnings of history and study where these energies come from. I
Mm.
truly believe in knowing history. And it's not just history, no history, like no history, but I mean, like really in understanding and encapsulating that in some form for you to become a teacher of it. So for truth to come through. And I think when you make incense and candles, it enables people to spark their inner truth, their intentions, and even through jewelry, that type of protective work, since we're on the topic of energetic protections. And but yeah, I've been creating a lot more, and I'm hoping, because I do Instagram lives every Tuesday on Herbalaria, that more people will pick up the practice of doing artwork at least once a
Mhm.
week. And I'm a huge advocate for mental health and wellness. When art healed me during a time when I really needed it as a teenager, even though I've been creating and doing art since I was a kid. I think everybody started with a crayon or a pencil
Mhm.
and something. Can we go back to that? Can we go back to drawing on paper? Can we express our feelings not just in words on social media, but on something that's tangible?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, art therapy is a thing for a reason. Like, it literally is magic because we're able to make tangible what is intangible, and then that also
Yeah.
helps us process it so much better. Um, Also, Lynn, let's talk a little bit more about the amulets that you've been making.
Oh yeah. Um, it's been a crazy adventure because I can't keep up with the demand of these amulets. I'm trying because I don't want to also forget my plant making stuff, you know, the medicine making. But Spirit has told me that's okay. You've been doing that for years, and people understand the guava medicine is coming through. But the amulets, I've been tapping into not just the things of our culture, but the totems. I just finished the scorpion totems, and tapping into the stones, the crystals, and every piece that I use to reflect the ancient belief systems and spiritual practices of our own ancestors and across different civilizations. There's validity in that if you go back in those history books from, and of course, like Mesopotamia being the first civilization that is on the books, of course, then Egypt, then all of that afterwards, then we see and understand how these amulets, these jewelry pieces reflect the sign of the times of socio-political and economic strifes, wars. And right now is the time to express what is going on through what you wear, through how you know, if you can't speak outwardly, because it seems like, you know, we're trying to speak out, but people are trying to shut us up. But you know what you can't shut up is what we wear on our bodies. You can't tear it off with me. Even if I wear my makeup, if you're not a believer of makeup, so what? Are you going to tear my makeup off? You know what I mean? So what we put on our bodies, how we express our artwork is a form of resistance. And I always believe that creativity and art is a form of resistance. And those amulets are part of that work.
Yeah.
I love that. And you know,
It's beautiful.
I was just thinking too, I recently was talking to my students and I was telling them there's a big difference between, you know, when people make things and it's like made with intention, but like there's a difference between that and like making things in ritual. And I feel like the way you're creating these pieces, you're really connecting to the essence
Right.
of the spiritual energies that would be protective, that would be amplifying someone's light, you know? And I'm really excited that you've been making this because it's like it would be a very big blessing for anyone to be able to own these pieces because you put in so much love, care, and wisdom into every piece.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate that coming from you. It means a lot, especially from our ancestors. You know, the work we do is so important, and I only, you know, as far as amulets, we also want to talk about like the energetic aspect of what they carry. Like anything in the world, people can imbue intentions in any object. You know,
Hmm.
I think that, and also the mind is such a powerful tool that we utilize the mind. Like I teach people to shoot from their third eye and intention into an energy ball. I think it's pretty basic, you know, for me. Like I say basic, but I know Randy's like, well, you know, for long-time practitioners, it might feel not basic, but it's a very important fundamental of practice. Um, but that includes the media. The media is always shooting things into our mind, into our spirit, and through our ears. And in ancient Mesopotamia, they believe that spirits can possess people through the ears. So they wore earrings to protect their ears from any spirits, or and then they had their different exorcism type of rituals to take out those demons. So I find it interesting, like that the amulets aren't just limited to necklaces, but also to earrings.
Wow. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, I
What?
feel like with
Mhm.
any piece of jewelry, like with the jewelry that I wear, they've been blessed. They've been on altars. They've been, you know, and there are specific earrings that I wear that have been blessed on, you know, something for strengthening my ability to hear spirit or also protection. So it really depends. You know, you can never have too many different pieces for whatever intentions you have for the day, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Mm.
also I wanted to mention that before we started, I brought this for Rachel. I put
Oh,
it on the altar. Just a little gift for her.
she loves that. I was thinking about her today too. I ate fruits before I hopped on to. I was eating dragon fruit, apple, persimmon, and that's all I had in apple juice. I just wanted to be pure with that type of energy. So it's interesting how you brought up the orange, and I'm like, thank you for that. And also thank you for posting our little conversation about the wolf and Dracula thing.
I forgot about that until I saw it.
I didn't remember which. I mean, I didn't know which one to post. I was like, "There's a serious one and there's a really funny one," and I was like, "I can post the funny one later," but like, I wanted to post it in the stories at least because I was cracking up.
I was like, can we delve deeper into that, but later?
Oh
Oh my
my God,
God.
I love it. Well, also, I've brought it up on the show before, but I am a proud owner of one of your amulets, Lyn, and I want to say that since I've gotten it, and I only wear it occasionally, but I realized that like it sits here, like on my neck, on my throat, and there have been things that have come up in my personal life where I felt empowered to
Wow.
speak up in ways that I hadn't before. So it's been shaking up my life in the way like the tower does, like where it has to tear everything down to rebuild. And I actually didn't make that connection until now. I was like, oh wow, I do think that the unting like really helped open that up for me. So I want to say thank you.
Oh, you're
Oh,
welcome.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, because
I'm
I
so proud.
layer necklaces, like I got one
Yeah.
here on my throat for clear speaking. I have this closer to my heart. I wear when I go out, you'll probably see me wearing like 8 necklaces. And people are like, "Are you a healer?" And I'm like, "What gave it away?"
Yeah, the layering of necklaces is again, let me go back to jewelry history from the 70s as well. Like it became a huge trend to layer necklaces that were made of things from nature. So the way Ranny's wearing her jewelry is exactly how they would do it. It's made of bone, shells, different metals. It was a time of opulence. It was a time of black power, of resistance, anti government, that kind of stuff. And so it's very, so when people say, are you a healer? Well, because the healers or the people of the 70s, let me go back. They believed that when you wear things like this, it connected you to a piece of nature, to that mindset of opulence, to wealth. And healing is really coming back to a place where you feel whole, where you feel wealth and abundance, prosperity in some way. And it doesn't mean like financial wealth and abundance. It could mean you're like from a place where you can give, where you can stand up for people because you have the energetic reserves. And Randy does a lot of that work for so many people in many communities. And so that's why I think you exude that energy so readily and easily, not just through the jewelry, but it's like that statement without saying it. Like I was saying earlier, that jewelry speaks
Mm.
loud where you can't speak those words honestly and openly everywhere.
I love everything you're saying today.
I
Thank you.
was like,
Thank you.
it must be the her. It's like my
I know, I
hair
was
is
gonna
like
say,
an extra
your
good.
hair's so good today. I mean, it's always good, but it's extra good tonight.
It's extra good because I
It's
put it
the
down.
bun hair.
It's the button that when you put it down, it goes whoosh. You're like, okay. She
I
wants to
love
speak today. My
it.
hair is speaking today.
All right, so
That's
I'm gonna throw up a comment. I'm going to mispronounce this. Sakyant, our amulet tattoos. It says Pimjai and Pimjai Taksana. Is Sakyant? Do you want to say a little bit more about that, Pimjai? Is that like a type of
Oh, I believe that she posted about this in my Discord. And it's very similar in Thailand to like the batok, but in Thailand they actually have like tattoos of different amulets and symbols and things for protection
Oh.
and all of
yeah.
that.
Oh, I think I've seen that. It's what they do it with like the one long needle, right? Is usually what I have seen. No?
I don't know how they do it. I just
But it looks like script sometimes. Is that like
I
the
think
one?
that there's sometimes like straight up like looks like an amulet, or sometimes it's words or symbols.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
think so
Pimjoy is
too.
confirming. Sakyant are tattoos that Thai shamans would pray over the person while they tattoo the
Mhm.
Yeah.
person. Oh,
So
yeah. So
there's
they're
like a
very
whole
similar.
ritual involved,
Oh, yeah.
just like batok.
Metal or bamboo.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, we have our Sapphire. You have yours. Can we see yours real quick?
Mm-hmm.
That's her ancestral tattoo. From what I understand, that's being able to. All those are the eyes, and
Yes.
she could see in the dark as she travels. You know, with her ancestors in protection with the boya teeth on both sides, and guided with the. So at the end of her tattoo, there's a frigate bird, and that's the lead. Like she's leading and her ancestors leading, and so with strength and protection as she goes through the spiritual realms. And all those, the flower ornament, the flower motifs also connote her ancestors that travel with her. So
Ah, I love
so
that.
that's her amuletic tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when I went to Manong Lane to get this the for the first round, that was my intention. Because I was starting to do more like paranormal investigations and stuff like that, and I was
Mhm.
like, I think I need protection if I'm going to be putting myself in these pretty weird situations. Um
Mhm.
and one thing he also explained was that because it's on my arm, the arm can travel between the realms, like upper
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
lower. And so that was a good spot for this. So,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, I love it.
It's
I
so
had
gorgeous.
still not gotten any of my ancestral markings. And I'm
Yes,
just
This
you
one
like,
will
have.
come.
Field
This
trip.
one will come. It'll come. I mean, you're right there in
yeah,
Vegas.
yeah. I'm not in a rush or anything. I'm like,
There's
I
no
know it'll
rush.
happen when it's supposed to happen, but I'm every time I see other people in it, I'm like, one of these days I'll have the time and the resources to do it. But right now I'm like, huh.
I want to be there. Please
I know.
invite me.
I'm like, invite us, please.
I want to be
Well
the
then if that's the
treasure.
case, that'd be
I
great.
want
Yeah.
to stretch. I know. So, like talking about amulets and protection, energetic protection. I also wear my tattoos like openly. Like I have one on my chest here. You can't see on the camera, but
I love that one.
I have that one, and it's not necessarily tied to the answer. I saw Pinjai's comment on how the Sakyans aren't tied to the ancestors, but
Mm.
we also have plants and deities associated with some of our tattoos, like the likamata, and this is the tea leaves of protection, the double boya teeth. Boya is crocodile,
Mhm.
and so so those different things are all put together as a form of protection and warning to spirits that see us wear it, like be warned, don't fuck with me because I am protected by my ancestors and all the spirits that have been invoked during my ritual, that I belong to this shield of protection under them, and that if anything ever happens to me, that you are now going to receive retribution and some sort of energetic punishment if you ever mess with me. There you go.
Yes, yes.
I
I know.
like, is that accurate? Is that what they want me to say?
I
I
love
love it.
it. But yeah, I mean, like, that's such a, like, that's why these are more than just tattoos. They're more than just
Mhm.
an aesthetic thing. So when people see it and they're like, "Ooh, I want that, looks cool, I'll do that." It's sort of, it not only loses all of its purpose if you were to just copy it, but also just, I don't know, might, I don't know. It's just like not a good idea. Just like don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why there's a whole ritual involved with when you go to a proper practitioner for the batok. It's like it's a ritual. It's not just, oh, I'm getting ink, I'm getting
Hmm.
tatted up. It's a completely different, very spiritual, very
Mhm.
ancestral practice.
Yeah, and you can't choose a design like on a wall, like a regular tattoo shop or anything like that, because first of all, these are bestowed upon you. And for women in our culture, it's a right to receive it, it's our inheritance. And for men, men have to earn the tattoos.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was just thinking about how when I had just turned 18, I did that. I went to a tattoo shop and picked one. I have a panda on my ass.
Oh my God.
A panda on my ass. Yep. impulse buy.
I also did that at 18. I have a tramp stamp,
It's funny.
is what they called it back in the day. It's basically a tattoo on your lower back, right above your ass crack.
We know what tramp stamps
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Let me
we
define
do,
that
but
for
do
y'all.
like do the
Understand?
younger people do? Do Gen Z know what tramp stamps
No,
are?
because
something, right?
it might be offensive. I don't know. Back then, it wasn't like something we really said it was an offense. It was more like,
Mm.
it was a very highly sexualized generation. Our
Yeah.
music was very sexualized. I mean, I listened back on it, and even Gilbert will be like, "Oh God, I can't believe we listened to this." And I'm like,
I'm all
"Oh
like,
yeah, I'm with you."
I'm cooking.
Like fruit and what and so that I did at 18 as well. So I concur with your panda and
Yeah, it was so silly. I
Wow.
remember going to the zoo with my kids when they were like, I don't know, they were like 3 and 2 or something. They were really little. And then they saw the panda and they're like the one on your butt? Mom, that's like the one on your butt. And I was like, I'm this young, really cute lady with these little babies. And they're like, yep, it's like the tattoo on my butt, you guys. Yep.
Wow. Hey,
That's
it's
one in
educational. It's educational.
I'm like, I didn't know the tattoo was that good, but I guess
Oh
I
wow.
could
And what
tell.
a cool meaning to have a panda on your butt. It's on your butt cheek, right?
It's like a little bit on the sides. It's like
On
my
the
lower thigh or upper thigh
side.
butt area. I always forget about it.
Yeah, but it's an interesting totem to have right there, because pandas are they're black and white. They reflect the yin and yang, and so it's around the area of your seat of creation, almost, where it's like the
Mhm.
male and female energies,
Mm.
but
Mm.
love, because pandas are fluffy.
It's a panda holding a heart too.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so it's like love, and I feel the heart. Yeah, so I feel like the love for all energies.
Oh, that's so funny. You
Just
know what? I haven't looked
redefining
at it in a
that
long
on
time.
butt.
It probably just looks like a yin and yang, but at this point, it's so old.
I don't have anything weird on me yet, but I do have a dolphin on my back.
Aw.
I also got it when I was, I think, 19 or 20, but it's just like a dolphin leaping out of water, and I always love dolphins. And so when you put animals on your body, going back to our protection thing, that acts as a totemic protective amulet, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Putting your
Mhm.
animals, yeah.
Yeah. And
So
another tattoo I have is Elvira but she has a chainsaw arm and a shotgun like Evil Dead, and she's on the Book of the Dead. And I'm like,
oh,
that's so funny that I got that tattoo before working with spirit, like the Lady of the Night, the Book of the Dead.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait, where's that one?
It's like a big tattoo here on my thigh. It's like my whole like left
Whoa.
thigh.
Mm.
So I have
Whoa.
really big tattoos, but I never did my arms because of like doing a lot of like I don't know, I just never did. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh, I know why. Because it's supposed to that's prime real estate
Yeah.
That is prime real
for
estate,
my
but you also have a
actual
lot of that.
like ancestral markings.
But
Oh
you
my
have
God.
lower world work. That's where,
Mm.
so when you tattoo below the waist, that implies the lower world. So you've
Yeah.
been doing a lot of lower world work. So the upper realm or ancestral realm work, or, just within this realm, will come through soon. I'd say next year, if you're ready.
Yeah. I'm thinking next year too. It's funny that you're thinking that too.
Yeah, I'm sensing it already, and I'm trying to plan around it so I can be there. And then offering, what am I going to bring?
All right, we have a question from Adam. Hi, Adam.
Hi,
So what
Emma.
type of punishment can spirits afflict onto other entities?
That's an
As
interesting
in,
question.
Adam, for clarification, are you saying like our guardian spirits, like what can they do to other entities? Like
Like
in the
examples
process of,
of like Hadouken, Fireball.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like what are their powers?
Yeah.
Lightning bolt.
You know what I've always said too? Well, this isn't going to answer that question directly, but
Go for it.
there was a spirit I had to deal with, and it was in my house. It was not welcome. It was from the streets. And I saw the shadow go underneath my gate, under my car, and then up my thing, and I heard it growl.
Mm.
And then I was like, you better get out of my home or something like that. I was just threatening it. I said, because when I die, I'm going to come back after you. I'm going to hunt you down. And so, I just kind of like get threatening like that. And so it left. But in terms of our ancestors, I think there's like what I imagine to happen is that they go at war. They really go towards what has caused harm. And then depending on the type of spirit they deal with. So I'm thinking of a situation here, and like if it's another ancestor, there's going to be a type of discussion first.
Mm.
They're going to be like, hey, this is what happened to our descendant. What is going on? So so that's what's going to go down first. And if there's disagreement, I think there'll be some sort of like energetic manifestation, even in this physical realm, that will give indication that your ancestors have defended you, if that makes sense. Yeah. Then the other thing that I have an example for is when you're dealing with an entity or some sort of evil spirit, you wouldn't necessarily call on the human ancestors, or those human ancestors wouldn't go there, but they would call on the other deities or the other spirits that can match the energy of the spirit that have attacked you or afflicted you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's all like it's all harmonious. In spirit, it's much more harmonious than it is here, because there's not really too much ego going on. It's like usually they don't want to go to war. Usually if a spirit sees that you are very protected, they'll fuck with someone else who's weaker. Spirit's not really like that into, oh, I want to, unless they're trying to like get revenge or something. If a spirit's trying to fuck with you, that's why protection is so important. If you're going to get fucked with by entities and you're actually very protected, they'll leave you alone. They'll move on to the person who's vulnerable. Negative entities that like are just sort of malevolent would rather feed off of or, mess with individuals who are prone, who are vulnerable. That's why protection is important. That's why raising your vibration is extremely important, especially right now. I see chaos everywhere. I see, man, I went to Walmart and I'm like, oh man, yo. Because things don't fuck with me, like they're like, but I see it on people. And I always, like, the person who's checking me out, I always like send them love and try to like do a little bit of a like shooing away of the things that are messing with them. But it is like, it's very heavy, and it's not that hard to protect yourself. A lot of it has to
oh, sorry. His comment, well, Walmart is the gateway to hell. Thank you, Pimjai.
But as powerful as Rannie, she can go up and down hell and heaven and all respect.
Walmart is like, it does have like, it has a vibe, it's very different. It's very different. In LA, we didn't really have any Walmarts near us, but now it's like the closest place for us to get stuff is Walmart, and we want to get something real quick. And I'm like, oh man, I would not want a raw dog Walmart. I would not want to be a person not protected and go into Walmart, because especially Vegas Walmart, next level. Like there's a lot of weird things. There's a lot of demons in Vegas. It's very interesting. Like all kinds, like fun, like trickstery type ones, and like, but then also like really gross, like sloppy, like I don't even know how they're able to present themselves types of demons. But I'm like, oh, okay, like that's something I've never seen before.
I love Vegas. I do love Vegas for the food. And but when I have to go to this one CVS pharmacy right there, I think it's on Paradise, or I don't know. I just kind of like memorize it. Tropicana. I just know there are all these street names. But there's CVS right there. Every time I walk in, just to get some, like if I forgot sunblock or something, someone's walking outside, some sort of entity just like roaming back and forth. And what doesn't help is that they have slot machines in these places. So you invite the spirit of gambling, the demon gambler is always ready for you, or the gambling demon, whatever you want to call it. But it's always ready to take your money and to take your soul in some way and to bring you down. And I'm not a gambler, so it never really comes near me, except when I wanted to play like the Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
I love that one for some reason.
I love it. Fun. I went to it, walk away. Walk away as soon as you win. Do not give any more money and just be like, thank you, universe, got it, done. I think there's no self-control. And I think that's why it's a city that's very indulgent and full of lights, all the shiny things and all the cool things. But this is where you learn self-control and protection. Maybe use those amulets for prosperity and abundance, so that you'll always remind yourself that you have it in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because Vegas is like the Strip. There's all these like the mini version of Italy, or there's like the Caesar's Palace. There's New York. There's all these like weird areas where there's like so many spirits are just hanging out. There's all these statues too, and statues are really great spirit homes. So you just look everywhere and you're like, this place is amazing because it is just so dense with spiritual energy. And then plus people get really drunk and you're like, oh man, these people are possessed right now. Like they're dropping things, their eye, because I could tell when a person is like kind of possessed when it's not really them. Like their eyes look very different. Like they don't look like human living people eyes. And it's interesting when we have to go to the Strip and be around people who are at that level of wasted, because I'm like, oh man.
Do they ever look at you? Do you ever get a side-eyed by a demon or something like that? And they're like,
What's interesting is a person now that like when I pay attention to people who are sort of possessed, they usually will drop something.
Interesting.
Like it always happens. I'm like, that person like is gonna drop something, and then they'll drop their water bottle, or they'll trip, or something will happen and I think that action kind of snaps them out of being possessed for a second. I think my presence helps a person to snap out of it, even for a moment, because I have no idea. I don't really ask. I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. People are dropping things.
You're going like, hey, like walking past them real quick, but then it's not like you're there to service everybody in that way. But
yeah, it's not just me, it's me and my posse, right? I have like a lot of spirits around me, so they're probably like flicking maybe someone's flicking something out of a person. I don't know. It's none of my business. I just pay attention, and I'm like, oh wow, when I'm around these people, they usually like, there are signs where they'll drop something and then they'll look at me like as if they're like almost like a thank you, or they're like, oh, what the fuck just happened? So it's pretty interesting being around drunk people now, or possessed people.
Can we go to Vegas just to test our theories?
Yeah, let's do it, because it's actually really.
And then we'll film it.
Fun.
We should film it for Paranormal Pinays, and let's do
it. Okay, field trip.
Our first episode will be in Las Vegas.
Woo!
There's a lot of hauntings out there. I've had it. I've had dreams. I had this one dream, and I couldn't help this soul. Okay, I probably won't give too much detail because it was kind of morbid. But someone was murdered in one of the hotels by her partner and some other person. Wow. Yeah, and so there's a lot of souls like that are caught in these hotel rooms and also wandering through the streets. And I'm just wondering, like, how. This is a question I've had, Rannie, and I don't know if you want to, or Sapphire, if you know anything about this. Like, I have a clue, but those who die and are wandering, what happens to them, to their guides, or what happened to their guides, if they even had any in the first place? Is there a way to help them, to guide them back, even if they want to or don't want to?
Yeah. That's a good question. The way I perceive it is that usually when it's a let's say it's the spirit of a person who passed away in a confused way, like like a bad death or whatever. It's a part of them that stays wandering, but their higher self, their main part of who they are, does ascend. So the aspect of them that is wandering can be cleared, because I've done it many times, because I had been told to, right? If I'm staying in a room and I feel like there's a lost spirit that could benefit from it, not like I'm going around like, oh, I got to clear up everything, but if I feel like there's a spirit that's trying to get to me and it needs support, I know that if I open up a space where they can move into where the ancestors are, into the light, then they can move on. And that's why I want to do the show so bad, because there's a difference between like earth elementals and energies that don't want to fucking leave, and lost spirits. And that's like just a part of a person who passed away, but it's not their whole being. It's an aspect of them that lives in this loop, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Adam also agrees that. I love that question, Lyn.
Thank you. I
Oh,
saw
also,
yeah.
Sig says, I was telling Ranny that y'all should come out here to Vegas and film stuff. So much paranormal, interesting stuff out here. I'll volunteer to be a camera person.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
let's
true.
put it on
Sig
the books.
actually is always like, have you asked them? Have you told? I'm like, well, it'll happen organically, and
And
here we
what
are.
an honor for Sig to be our camera person.
I know.
Are you gonna make the camera dance?
Yay. So we're coming on the end, and I thought it would be cool to end giving people some more practical advice on ways that they can protect themselves spiritually. So what advice do we have?
You want to take this, Lyn?
Mm.
Oh.
Well,
I was looking at you. I was like, "You want to take it,
okay.
Randy?"
I can
I'll
take
take
it.
it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
did their camera just get all weird?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Whoa, that was weird.
Okay.
But I think you're good now.
I know there was like a weird glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, you like froze and then you like sped up. You like time traveled. It was cool.
Yeah, all of you did the same thing too. Whoa. Talk about like, is that still happening?
No, I think.
Are we good?
And I'm like, are we good? Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, Rennie, do you want to go first?
Oh yeah, sure. There are many ways to protect yourself, but raising your vibration is like the most important. So actually doing things that make you happy, spiritual maintenance, clearing yourself regularly, doing like salt baths is really great. Adding magnesium to the salt bath would help to clear a lot so that you're stronger. Because, right, protection usually comes from within. And then there's also giving offerings to spirits around you or your ancestors for extra protection, burning sacred smoke as before I go out, like if I'm going to go to some place that's a little heavy with energy, I have protective incense that I bathe in the smoke so that I have like this, protective energy around me. Also wearing the unthing and thing, or the protective amulets like what Lyn makes. Protect another There's a lot of protective practices, but like raising your vibration and knowing how much more powerful than you are than other spiritual energies or entities that don't have a body is pretty important, because people feel like afraid of spiritual energies, but because we have a physical body, we are actually a lot more powerful in this physical realm than most spirits, right? Yeah, but just also wearing crystals, wearing amulets, like wearing black crystals is really protective. Grounding yourself, connecting with earth every day if you can, to just get that force, that surge of energy that is nourishing, grounding, and protective. As those are all really great ways to protect yourself.
Great
Ooh,
answer.
that should be listed and posted. All of that. Um, if I could just bounce off of those really amazing tips. Guard your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Guard the gateways of your mind and what you allow to be within your consciousness and your subconsciousness. That is the number one protection for me. That includes raising your vibration. When you raise it, you're at a place of joy and happiness, which means you guard your mind against that which is bringing that energy down. Listen to good books that really are like, if you're if you like Audible or listening to audiobooks, listen to that on the daily. When you doom scroll, that's one of the big no-nos.
It's a trap.
So it's a
It's
trap.
a trap. Don't do
Do not
Mm-hmm.
doom scroll. And emails that you're getting news from the New York Post or some sort of like, not, I'm just saying because I get New York Post emails for some reason. Anything that is news related in your emails or talks negativity, start cleaning your emails out. I would also suggest, smoke cleansing with the incense that Randy makes, your cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. You know what? I cleanse like if I travel, like right, like I when I unpack pack my luggage, I throw everything in the wash and I use cleansing, clearing herbs in the wash. And I also my luggage, I always clear with smoke right when I get home. Because
Mhm.
things get attached to things, especially if it's at the airport and with other people's luggages and stuff. Clearing your phone as well. Yeah, like you said, it's just so important.
Yeah,
Like
your phone's
smoke
a
is
portal.
so powerful.
Your phone's a portal. I feel like not everybody remembers that when you're looking at your phone, you're looking at social media, you're reading, whatever you're researching. And then they'll hit you with ads, and you're like, is this even tailored to me? That kind of stuff. So clearing out your closets too, that's a good way of protecting yourself because you want to clear it of any negative energy and welcome positive energy. And um, because invitation, when we were talking about Dracula before, and Dracula needs to be invited into the space. I'm gonna
That
allude back
creep.
to Dracula. I thought about that. I was like, ooh, Sapphire, he's got cold skin. I don't know.
Cold skin.
Cold
I
skin.
It's got cold skin. I mean, I think I'd rather take the wolf. It's got warmth and
Also, like, yeah, they're old as shit, but then they put this illusion up that they look good. But what they really fucking look like, if you're a witch, you know what I mean? If you could see things, you're like, ooh. Well,
yeah.
she was swayed. She was
Oh
swayed.
my god.
His
So
cold
embarrassing.
skin.
But
Oh man.
yeah, so there's also the energetic vampires you want to protect yourself from.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
that just to bring that up since we alluded to that,
Yeah.
energetic vampires can come in the form of people in your life that make you feel tired whenever they're tick, 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 and you're just like, I can't stand it anymore. Those boundaries.
Hmm.
And then, so what you want to do is just imagine yourself having this like shield aura, like within yourself, your light, like coming through, starting to get brighter and brighter, and then pushing away that energy. That's really helpful. And then you'll
Hmm.
notice they'll start to slow down and you'll notice a lot of things change around you visually and even physically. It's really palpable. And I think those are really cool techniques that
Yeah.
anyone can do at any time.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love doing the bubble one. Like there's certain people that like really just sap my energy. So whenever I'm
Mhm.
around them, I like
Mhm.
always
Mhm.
envision this like protective bubble and then they usually just like stop talking to me.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
so
people
highly
forget.
recommend.
Really.
Yeah. That's a part of that, like, the protection is knowing how protected you are, that you don't
Mhm.
have to stay in situations where you're being drained and
Yeah.
being around people that you don't like. Curating your life, you have the power to curate your life in so many
Mhm.
ways. I know there's some things that are out of our control, but if you could have the intention to be protected, to be empowered, to be around people who uplift you as opposed to
Yeah.
drag you down, then you'll
Mhm.
start noticing big life changes. But do that when you're ready, right? It'll usually happen because when I started changing my life, a lot of my old friends just disappeared.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, dang, that's sad. But then I think back and I'm like, oh, wait, all of those old friends were real bummers. They would get drunk and then just talk about things that depressed them. And then I'm like, that was never fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, they were my friends, but like, was it fun? No. Like, I want people like you two, people who can uplift me. Where after I hang out with you, I don't feel tired, I feel energized. So, actually, energetic integrity, knowing your worth and that you are worthy to be around other people who would uplift you as opposed to bring you down.
Say that again.
Hell
Energetic
yeah.
worth. Know your worth. Know your frequency, what frequency you want to hang out with. And if you ever have to say anything, and if you ever get some sort of trolling comment or someone comes at you with something negative, don't feed it. The reason why they exist because they're feeding off of you.
Those are vampires. They come in all forms, not just the handsome.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was looking in the chat. I'd like to add on to that. What everything you guys have both been saying, just like spot on. Great advice. Something that helps me when I'm feeling a little bit, I don't know, less great than usual is I try to focus on things that I do have some control over. Like if I'm feeling overwhelmed by the things I can't control, I'm like, okay, well, what do I have control over? And then sort of just like move my energy over there. But also a huge aspect of protection is just remembering that you can protect yourself. Like instead of thinking like, okay, what outside forces or spirits or external things I need in order to protect me, it all comes from you. Like you are the start. So if once you really truly believe that, like down to your core, you become fearless and everything just starts to change. So that's my advice, is just remember that you are, convince yourself like you are powerful, focus on things that make you feel empowered, surround yourself with people that empower you, and that's the best protection of all, in my opinion.
Sapphire, Rannie and I were like, like, yes. That emphasis.
Yeah.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
protection, again, it comes from within. And knowing yourself, knowing all of that. We'll get through this, y'all. I know it's been fucking weird for a lot of people, but the more we protect ourselves, empower ourselves, and curate our lives while also being aware of what's going on, but not be taken down by it, then we can actually make moves towards the changes that we want, as opposed to feeling like everything is helpless and we're in fear and we're so distraught. It's okay to feel the feelings, but also like we are powerful, especially when we remember who we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I believe in that totally. I think people are living in fear. I think that's what they want us to do anyways. They want us to
well,
live in fear.
it's so orchestrated. We could talk about this for hours. I'm like, I just see how polarized things are. There's no, everything is black and white. There's no in between. It's like, okay. I feel like I've lived many lifetimes through this, so I'm like, yep, same old story, different body.
Different look, different sex, different, spirituality, but all the same story of human civilization. Like I said, people read up on the history books, read it. You see, you know it, then you'll understand the patterns of human behavior. And psychology. Everybody's trying to psychologize each other right now. On I noticed that everybody's trying to define why people think the way they do with psychological verbiage. But I mean, just look at the real, take a step back and understand the sources of this behavior. It goes beyond any type of academia or what they're trying to make sense of it through learned words. That's why these people are convinced in another way, because they've the powers that are in control right now use the simplest of things to get to the simplest of minds that are unprotected and vulnerable. Because more than half of the country is in that state that is easily manipulatable, manipulated.
And it's been designed that way. Like they have the power to show us like a lot of different things, but it's always fear. It's always buy this or hate this or this is,
Mhm.
you know what it's like. It's just so gross, and you know, I see beyond it. We see beyond it, but not
Yeah.
too many people do. And you
Yeah.
know, it's the cycle that has been playing out for many lifetimes.
Yeah, and I actually see this happening even within magical communities or witchy
Yeah.
communities. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you're all practitioners and people who understand what this means, and yet you're buying into the narrative of this fear. And don't you have magic? Don't you understand
Mhm.
that this is another part of the shadow work that we need to go through? And so I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going to obviously say that to everybody, but I'm just saying it here. Remember who you are. Rannie said it. Sapphire said it. I'm saying it. Be your own strength and light in this world. Remember who you are and understand that this is part of the cycle of our existence, many lifetimes.
Hell yeah. I feel like that's a great place to end.
Yeah.
Yay. Ah, can I just say this was such a good episode?
I love this one.
Well, I think the last episode, I think it was the last episode. I think like you were sick, so
I think we were all
No,
doing
it was
like,
all over the
and
place.
then I just felt like I was talking a lot because it was like a full moon in Aries. So I was like, well, no one has anything to say. I'm just gonna say the things.
Well, thank you everyone for
Thank
joining
you.
today and for talking to us in the chat. We'll be here next Thursday. Next Thursday's not Thanksgiving, is it? That's next Thursday, right?
I don't know.
No.
I don't
Okay.
celebrate
Next
Thanksgiving.
Thursday.
The colonizers' holiday. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I've redefined it as something else, but
Yeah,
we
that
still
was a joke.
remember that this
If
is
my
Native
daughter wants to
American
see me,
heritage.
I'll see her.
Right.
But on that note, can we at least acknowledge it's Native American Heritage Month? So let's
Yes.
do our part to know the history of this land and uplift our indigenous kapwatids and acknowledge their ancestors and bless them always.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yay. All right. Bye guys.
Bye.
Okay, wait. We are not okay. Oh, wait.